Welcome everyone to the Act 3 discussion video, Afterthoughts, the post week. This is a bi-weekly show where I talk about my journey through Genshin Impact's Natlan. Of course, it's going to continue on when we get to Nodecryde as well. This is also the first time we're doing this all live. So if I feel a bit weird, it's because there's chat here. I got to flip between the B-roll, and I gotta flip between myself. It's gonna be a good time. Hello, welcome. My overall thoughts about Act 3 is it is fantastic. Now, I did have some minor issues with it, but we'll talk about that as we get through it. I love that the introduction of this quest has us going to Catherine. She is so overwhelmed by the amount of commission she has to do. And all of a sudden, Kachina shows up, and you know what? We just leave. We're just like, okay, we're done. We don't need to speak with you anymore, Catherine. See you later. So Kachina brings us over to Xilonen. And here, absolutely, what a gorgeous looking character. Truly amazing. You can already see I'm giving the big old eyes staring at her. But basically, Xilonen is, I guess, we haven't really introduced of what she does, but she is able to create an ancient name for us. Well, or so we think. Because when we approach Xilonen, the Pyro Archon has given her an impossible task to make an ancient name for an Outlander. It's just not something that is even possible. The ancient names are basically created through doing something heroic in Natlan specifically, because essentially if you do something heroic in Natlan, it gets written into the Night Kingdom, which is where they pull the ancient name from. Because we're new and we're Outlanders and we don't belong to this place, we don't have anything of our deeds or legends inscribed into the Night Kingdom. But there is someone who may be able to help us with that. But hey, don't worry about that, because we are looking for a character named Citali. She is a part of the Masters of the Night Wind. She is the one who had the Speaker Stone that we unfortunately broke apart, but Xilonen is going to be offering us a letter, sending a letter to her, letting her know that, hey, this is urgent. The Pyro Archon needs us to have a name, because it's important for us for this whole journey of finding the heroes of Natlan. I was going to name the number, but I forgot the number 6. Let's just say it was 6 heroes of Natlan. Before I even forget, we also got to play as Xilonen. Incredible. We got to skate around as her. That was a ton of fun. I was still kind of getting used to the controls here, but fantastic. Thank you for even allowing us to play this queen, even just for a little while. Absolutely incredible. Our job is to go find Citlali, because she is going to be the one who's going to help us write our ancient name. And throughout this entire quest, it is basically us getting to know Citlali, and what a fantastic character she is. From the moment that we are seeing her, she is like here to just crack us up. I mean, sure, she is a very serious part and has a major role, as you can tell here, but for the most part, it's just been a good time getting to know this character. She is hundreds of years old, or at least she is very, very old from what we know, but she needs to fit in with the kids. We have this incredible moment where she is like so in her own head, thinking like, I thought I was young. I tried to connect with the kids. It's what a great way of endearing us to a character in this way. It's just so funny, because this is not even played off as, it's like, sure, it's played off like as a bit of a joke, but at the same time, there's something really touching about how this character still wants to connect with people. People feel more afraid to speak with her, more afraid to communicate. So for Citlali, she's one who's like, I want to communicate with people. I want to speak with people. So to have these moments where we're seeing her inner thoughts, seeing what she feels, how she is thinking, I think just adds so much to like caring for this character. She is just trying to wanting to speak with other people, trying to understand her grandson, trying to understand the people around her. And I just really, really appreciate that. And all to an amazing point where we're going out drinking with her, where we're just here and we're just drinking with Citlali. It's just such a fantastic moment to just get us used to care for a character. And I just really appreciate that throughout this Act 3 Archon quest, we are really engaging in learning about these characters and falling in love with these characters. I like so far, at least out of the main characters that we've met, Kachina, Mualani, Mavika, Shilonen, Ororon, which we'll talk about later, the Captain, and Citlali, all of these characters, they're fun. I like speaking with them. I can't say that about other Archon quests. There's going to be a character there that doesn't have much importance or didn't have a strong connection. I think this is just for how amazing Genshin has improved in their writing, I feel, where all these characters are interesting and fun to listen to. I like, maybe I shouldn't be surprised, but I'm surprised. I wasn't expecting to enjoy Natlan as much as I have been. From Citlali to her student, her grandson, Ororon, let's talk about him. Now, when we originally saw him in the Ignition trailer, you know, he felt like he was just gonna be the emo kid, and it was like, okay, you're gonna kind of be annoying to listen to all the time. But I love Ororon. From the moment we meet him, he has such a soft-spoken voice. He is so polite, maybe because I'm old, and so much like Citlali, we're like, oh, we like it when the young kids are being very polite. But Ororon is so genuinely what a nice character. And the fact that, yes, he is just a vegetable farmer. He is just there. And it's something that I greatly love about this character, because everything he is doing is genuine. It is something he cares for. Even though he is assisting the captain, and we'll talk about the captain soon, he's doing it out of the kindness of his heart. We learn from Citlali that he is an incomplete soul. And so the Masters of the Nightwind, the elders, thought it would be good to use Ororon as this vessel to store lost souls and to bring them to the Night King to be released. And it's like, cool, that would help the ley lines, right? But then it's like, well, if we bring him to the Night Kingdom, isn't that going to destroy him? The Masters of the Nightwind, those elders were like, well, who cares? Who gives a damn? But Citlali, she didn't know what to do. And what I love so much about this is that even though she never agreed to this, because she didn't say no, the elders went ahead with this plan, and although it failed, it brought an expectation to Ororon. Not that he hates the Masters of the Nightwind for using him as a sacrificial vessel, but because he failed in his mission to protect Natlan. And that is something he is holding so dear, and he is so desperate to find a way to save Natlan, leading Ororon to question if the Pyro Archon can truly save Natlan. And I think that's something that I just wasn't expecting in the story, but I'm really happy for this character to have this kind of doubt. I think, like, having him make his own decisions of joining the Fatui because he doubts the Pyro Archon. He wants to find a way to save Natlan because he feels like he wasn't doing a good enough job to originally save Natlan when carrying the lost souls to the Night Kingdom. And so because of that, does he get more curious about joining with the captain to find a way to save Natlan, a character who I had zero expectations about being good, about being interesting, and became one of the most interesting characters alongside the captain, is truly incredible. Now, I'm sorry to the captain fans out there. You know, When I first watched the cutscene with Malvika and the captain fighting, and seeing the captain lose, one of the strongest harbingers, if not the strongest harbinger, I thought, damn, what a dope. Losing to Malvika? Although, I did specifically mention in the video that hopefully the story proves me wrong. But I understand. Frustration can manifest itself in many ways. And as I watched the Act 1 story quest, Archon quest, I apologize, Malvika was even weaker than I originally thought. And the captain still lost. But I knew that the captain fans were out there and that there has to be a reason why he lost. I thought maybe it's because he lost on purpose. That's what his goal was. Maybe he had some honor, some respect for Malvika. And we do learn at the end of Act 1 that he doesn't want to fight her in her weakened state. He's an honorable warrior. And I realized that maybe I was the one who's been dishonorable this entire time. Calling him a dope, it's not right. And as we get to Act 3, do I learn his true fate, his true wondrousness. He's a member of the Master of the Night Winds. We see this in the Auroran memory, using a spell, though for some reason everyone in the story so far is very confused as to why he's using the Master of the Night Wind spell, or why he cares so much about Natlan, but he's from Snezhnaya. Guys, piece the puzzles together already. He is a member of Natlan. And seeing him care so much for his people, the fact that even his own Fatui members are helping the people of Natlan, I just want to say, I'm sorry to the captain, to the Tsaritsa, to the Fatui, and to the captain fans out there. I was wrong. I didn't know the captain's game. I didn't know how much of a good guy he is. There's the needed apology for the captain. Hopefully he likes it. Okay, so look, we've been jumping all over the place, but let's talk about why Auroran is feeling like the Pyro Archon's not going to be able to help him. Let's talk about why the captain is doing what he's doing, why he thinks he can save Natlan over Malvika. Currently, Malvika's plans is simple. Get the 6 heroes, get them together, fight the Abyss, back them out, and we're all saved. Everything is good. But what we learned from the captain is that she has an emergency plan. Because to the captain, he's like, why should we trust that she will either find the remaining 2 heroes, and also if all these heroes can actually save Natlan? We don't actually know. He brings up good points, but she has an emergency plan. Her emergency plan is to use the Gnosis. This is a very dangerous plan, but to the captain, he's like, she's going to use it when it's too late. We need to act now. But if we go over with Malvika, she lets us know that this emergency plan using the Gnosis is going to create a giant net that goes around the ley line to prevent further abyssal corrosion. However, it requires us to sacrifice all the souls, memories, and legends from the Night Kingdom, essentially erasing the history and culture that Natlan has built. And even then, she explains that the net can still be corroded. So this isn't a permanent solution to saving Natlan, but it will be a permanent solution to erasing the history and culture from Natlan. Malvika also has a very interesting point about, like, how does the captain already know about this? And it makes me question, right? Does the captain not know about the part where it's going to erase the history and culture, but maybe he doesn't care about that because the Tsaritsa wants to create a new world anyways. And to specifically, maybe for someone like the captain, he cares less about the history and the memories maybe, and cares maybe more about the physical people who are living in the present. Like, why put those people through a torturous, horrifying, disaster when we could prevent that by just erasing the memories of Natlan altogether? And so both of these characters have very, very interesting perspectives on the way to save Natlan. And on top of that, we find something very interesting. We find a source mechanism, which we don't know what the hell that's about, but we do know it's from the ancient dragon civilization. So once again, the dragons are showing up again. We're talking about them. Natlan has a deep, deep history of ancient dragon civilizations. Please let us learn more. And we also know that because they're looking for the source mechanism, they're also looking for something called the secret source. We don't know what that is. All we know is that even the Pyro Archon doesn't know much about it, because the ancient dragon civilization existed before humans came to Natlan. So we're talking about way, way, way older. And so I love that when we bring this up to the Pyro Archon, she's like, all right, let's just get researchers to find out what the hell the secret source is. And we're like, all right, perfect. So I'm very excited to learn more about that aspect, because we still don't know what that has to do with the captain's ultimate goal, which is he wants to use the Gnosis to recreate the ley lines. I'm very excited to see these two characters working together. Right now, we're waiting for the moment where the captain and Malvika can talk together about their ways to save Natlan. I'm so thrilled to learn more. But that is it for my Act 3 discussion video. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. Right now I'm doing it live, so things aren't as neatly organized as when I would do this originally for the pre-recorded stuff. But hopefully you all enjoyed it, because I certainly did. This was a fantastic Act 3 quest. If I had a complaint about this, I think the captain stuff the Auroron memory stuff was kind of like the best moment from the Archon quest, aside from learning about Citlali. And I kind of wish we had some more of that like intertwined throughout the quest. We got that instance where Auroron took us away and got to spoke to the captain. Captain was like, hey, I want to speak to you in person. Then we speak to him in person, get slightly interrupted, and then we get the bulk of that information at the end of the quest. So I kind of wish it was kind of weaved throughout, but it did allow us to learn a little bit more about Citlali, which is very exciting. We're also slowly seeing that the Abyss attacks are getting more and more frequent. So obviously we had to show that element as well. That's it from me. Come back, not next week, the week after, as we talk about Act 4, and maybe we might even just mention a little bit about some of the other world quests that we'll be doing. As I said, these videos are going to be a bi-weekly series, so definitely come over to the Twitch stream, because we do this weekly. So if you want to see things a bit sooner, come by over to the Twitch channel. Otherwise, YouTube, this is all bi-weekly. So thank you all so much for taking time to watch me talk about some beautiful Genshin Impact Shilonen. Beautiful. Bye now. Goodbye. Like, I think it's fair to say, because I'm sure you've all have caught up, or at least for the most part. Because I'm going to spoil something that I remember seeing in one of the cutscenes. There was a scene where, like, the captain was fighting alongside the people of Natlan. So, like, that's something that, like, sure, I'm not going to be surprised about that. But what I really appreciate that they're doing in this story is that that is not going to be a surprise to you. When you see that moment happen in the cutscene, that is not going to be a surprise, because they have built up the point that both of these characters want the same thing. And so, yes, it is going to make sense. It is like right now, you can have a great prediction that the captain and Mavica are going to fight together because they both want to save Natlan. And I think that ultimately is such a fantastic buildup and setup. So to me, I don't feel spoiled at this point because it's already built. They've already built the foundation that this is going to happen. It's just a matter of when is it going to happen. And I feel like it's going to happen once Mavica and the captain have their sit down together, have their discussion. So I'm so thrilled and so excited to take a look at that. That's the thing I'm very, very hyped about, man. Oh, I cannot wait.